as much fun as I have on freshwater, I think my biggest kicks have come fishing on saltwater. These are all my freshwater reels, virtually all of them Pfluger medalist reels, some of them going back to the 50s and 60s. You don't need to have a lot of backing on these reels, so they can be smaller and they can be lighter. When you get to saltwater, you need one of these babies or something like it. I use the Systems 2 saltwater reels, which have been just fine for me. They have room for 200 to 300 yards of backing on them. And you need that for some fish that are big enough and strong enough to take off on really high speed and lengthy runs. And the fish I have the biggest fun with on saltwater is bonefish. I think pound for pound, they're the greatest fighting fish, the most exciting experience in the world of fishing. They come in from deep water and come into sand flats, sometimes in only 6 inches of water, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 feet of water. And it's as much hunting as fishing. You stalk them. You see them off in the distance with polarized sunglasses under the surface. You have to try to sneak up on them and very precisely present a fly to them while they're on the move. And if you can get one of these flies, let's see if I got a bonefish fly around here to show you. I knew I had some. Oh yeah, these are all bonefish flies here. If you can get one of these to sink rapidly enough and with the proper timing for these fish, you will get lucky and you'll have yourself a bonefish on the line. Those are 3 very classic bonefish flies: the Crazy Charlie, the Bonefish Special, Agent Orange, sometimes called Agent Bonefish. These are really effective flies. If a bonefish hits, he'll take off on a run that will be 30 miles an hour, and your reel will be screaming with the friction of it and literally smoking at times as he takes out 200 or 250 yards of line on that first run. They're called the gray ghost because they're so elusive, hard to see, hard to catch, but they're great, great fun. But there are some other very interesting fish that you run into if you're a flats fisherman. And one species is the permit. I have a couple of, I think, gorgeous permit flies. They look very appetizing to me, but I've never had a chance to even get this fly near a permit. They're the most elusive, the most toughest fish to catch on the flats. And there's many an expert fisherman who has fished for decades and never even had an opportunity to cast to one, let alone get hooked up. I may not have caught any permit, but I have caught some barracuda, and they are extraordinary on a fly rod. You take this huge fly, you cast it out to where you see them swimming in and around the flats. As soon as the fly hits, you take your fly rod, you tuck it under your armpit, and you grab the fly line and you start reeling it in hand over hand as fast as you can. There's no such thing as too fast. And if it's fast enough, they get attracted, they come and they grab that fly, they take off on these incredible longitudinal leaps that are sometimes 20+ feet each one. It's just endless aerial displays. It's really a kick. Another fish that you may run into in and around the flats is the tarpon. And tarpon are very hard to coax into hitting a fly, and they're very hard to catch because of their incredible hard mouths. They usually just toss the fly in the first leap. And there's a whole subculture of people who tie tarpon flies. This is an example of a beautifully tied tarpon fly that I had somebody up in Santa Rosa, California, tie for me on one of my trips. It takes a long while to do it that beautifully. The other fish I've caught in and around the flats have been trevally and sharks that always seem to be around whether you want them or not. But they can be a lot of fun, and they'll take virtually anything. They would love a streamer like this. They'll just come on and glam onto it. So it's just an adventure in saltwater because you never really know what you're going to run into.